Welcome everybody to the summer tournament, Link to the Past Randomizer. My name is ajneb174, joined today by Big John. How you doing today, Big John?
Man, I'm hyped, yo. I don't know about you all, but we should be hyped. This is game number 1 of the finals of the Link to the Past Randomizer summer tournament where, yo, there's like a $4,000 top prize at stake, man. That's some big time stuff right there for playing Link to the Past.
You got that absolutely right, and of course, second place runner-up getting half as much. So, I mean, everybody's making some money here, but best of 5 series as well for this finals. This is pretty big stuff. And we also didn't catch the very beginning of it, some minor technical stuff, but we are, however, making our early Sphere 1 checks now.
Oh, yeah, man. And of course, we got Ben and we got Jim here who are duking it out here again. Like, as you heard you just say, best of 5 now. So none of that game 3 stuff, man. Maybe we can run all 5. I hope so. It'd definitely be a good watch between these players. They have worked pretty hard to defeat their previous players to make it to this final pairing here. And I'm hoping for trolliness. We got to extend it some way, form, or fashion.
Hey, there's nothing better than more rando, right?
Dude, more rando. You can never have too much randomizer.
Well, we do have an early hook shot for these runners, exceptionally early, and this is going to help us with a lot of movement. You don't really get to do much that's going to make you faster early in the game, so every little edge like that helps. As well, we're also finding out that our library item is useless to us, just some bombs.
Indeed it does. So for those who just joined us, just to let you know all, this is game number 1 of the finals between Ben and Jim. Again, first to win 3 is going to win this overall championship. So every little movement they're going to make right now is going to be very, very valuable, you know. It's always been valuable, but, you know, now we got a little take-home prize at stake for our winners. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of gambles they decide to go for this time. You have a lot at stake here.
Well, here in the village, we don't have enough money to give the bottle vendor what we need in order to get his item. That being said, though, it looks like Jem's going to pick up some bombs and he's going to buy some. So he's going to be well stocked for later. Ben actually picked up some bombs from a couple of locations where you can find a couple of spare ones in the overworld. And his patience rewarded because he didn't spend those rupees the way that Jem did.
I gotta love when you use a bomb to get more bombs. I just find that so funny.
Yeah, so Ben may actually, depending on how the rest of this village goes, may be able to check bottle vendor, whereas Jem might not be able to. And if that's something important, you know, little tiny optimizations like that paying off.
Yeah, those little things here. These, you know, I always say about those locations that are open from the very beginning. You know, like things like, you know, way up there in the desert. You know, Gina's cave, just sitting there. Waiting for someone to make that trek out there. The same way someone makes that trek out to Ice Rod Cave. But, oh man, we've seen so many times where there's been something very vital that has really kind of hindered our players at times when it's just sitting there wide open. But that time, you know, that risk versus reward and that time loss where, hey, did your opponent do it? And I want to see if anyone's going to make those gambles this time because those have proved fatal in this tournament.
Very fair statement to make. And exceptionally, we find the bow here in Kakariko Village. This is normally an item that hurts our runners for a pretty long time as far as the progression of the seed goes, blocking off a couple of things like Armos Knights, east side of Palace of Darkness, and even Ganon's Tower Climb itself. So definitely a required item no matter which way you're playing this game.
Yeah,
also
no
a really nice weapon.
Oh yeah, you gotta have some weapons here. You know, don't have to worry about being kind of too creative here. I already have a hook shot. You got a nice little thing to stun them with and kill some of my enemies and having those bows. So pretty decent start, I would say, for a randomizer. I think anyone would welcome these couple of early items.
Yep, a few things that we're definitely looking for here in the light world in order to progress our game to the dark world. We're definitely going to need some kind of lift upgrade. Moon Pearl, absolutely. And we are likely to need something like a mirror pretty soon as well.
So I believe neither player has actually pulled up a map check. We don't know exactly where anything is so far as crystals and pendants yet, but I'm sure all in due time we'll get that. Got a little glance of the island down there for Jim.
Yeah, some smart routing, being able to check that on the way through. Of course, you know, if it ends up being something valuable, you know you're going to want to make that long trek to get back there, as that will be a mirror lock location.
Mm-hmm. So Jim is making his way over to three items. I said three items. Three items back there behind Sashara Hashala Hala to see if we can get some progression going here. And I guess that would be a little helpful towards it.
Well, little did I know, Shamalama Ding Dong in here is a power lifter. He has a power glove for us today. That's our first lift upgrade, so that's going to open up a lot of different small rock locations.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Unfortunately, it doesn't help us with Eastern Palace. The nice thing, though, is that if you can do a dark room, which both of these miners absolutely can, they can actually get through to the end of this.
You sure can here. Again, Bo is good enough to take care of our Armos Knights, so no problem. Of course, at this level of gameplay, I don't expect them to not, you know, gamble it anyway.
Yeah, you're certainly in the area already, and Gem's definitely jumping in, so not holding back on anything at all here. 300 rupees for Ben. He's actually only 100 or so shy of considering Zora. If he finds some in, say, like 100 pack over in Ice Rod Cave, that's a pretty compelling reason to be over there.
Indeed it is. You know, we already see that we have that glove, so we can't get to Zora no problem, logically. Of course, a nice little net, one of our first items in Eastern.
Yeah, so the net mostly useful for safety and, of course, some swag. And there's a couple of bosses, too, exactly, that you can use that on. Otherwise, though, it's kind of like, you know, the other Zelda games. There's usually an item that'll distract the boss, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. So interesting enough, Jim is going around Eastern, but we don't actually know. Now, Jim will know based on the sound of it, but since we have audio on Ben right now, it's the mystery to us all right now.
Well, there's Ben saving and quitting out of Ice Rod Cave, so he's not considering a fake flipper play at all, which I don't blame him not having the rupees to do so. Is he going to follow suit with Gem, though?
Yeah, we'll see. Now, of course, in the very beginning of the game, maybe Gem did do a map check before we actually saw the game feed, so that might have encouraged him to go over here so early.
And he is rewarded for coming over this way early, too. That half magic and Ice Rod Cave will play pretty nicely into any kind of magic weapon he wants to use, particularly, say, Fire Rod down the road or Kate. We got a Moon Pearl in Eastern Palace, so Gem making the right calls to be over here.
Oh, man, the east side was definitely loaded here.
Now, there's another interesting consideration to be had. We do not have the lamp, and Gem's walking into a lamp-locked spot, so if he continues, he will not technically be in the logic anymore.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not that hard to do, and you got to think your opponent would also do it.
Yeah, you never know what's going to lurk when you break logic here. You know, you might just look up and find a nice little progression item. Because for Gem, you know, who knows when you can find, I don't know, maybe a second glove that would give us dark roll access, ironically. Who knows, maybe the hammer lurks behind somewhere the lamp must be early, possibly.
Yeah, so that's definitely running in my mind. I can't imagine exactly which spot we haven't seen yet. Zora?
Yeah, you know.
There are escape locations.
Yeah. So here we go. So Jim is going to continue on and go ahead and take care of the dark room here. That's it for the front. I already checked the big chest. So the only thing now is Armos for our final location.
Yep, and we'll see Gem go through one of the more difficult rooms in the entire dungeon if you're going to do it in the dark. There are a couple ways to feel your way around in here, though. You can poke with that hook shot and kind of figure out where the Igor is, and he actually nails him right in the eyeball with his eyes shut. Just got to get a little closer, and wham. Yep.
That right one has that valuable key to head over to the upper left of the room to get up out of there. Of course, you know, what if it's going to... There's that money over there, but what do you think? Do you go pick up a few change or just... keep on going?
I don't know. When you got your eyes on the prize, and the prize being $4,000, I don't know if I'd stop for that.
Well, he is going to stop to get some health recovery. Can't really blame him on that. Taking a little bit of damage there.
Oh, that's really good game knowledge, too. There's actually a room with fairies in all three of the first dungeons, the Light World dungeons, and this is probably the most commonly known stash of them. There is, of course, in the left side of Desert Palace, and of course a really elaborate fall in Tower of Hera. But Gem manages to make it through, no problem.
He's going to continue on through right now. Just a few rooms away from our first boss fight. So again, for those who missed out what's going on right now, I'm sure I guess the hook shot must have been in Link's house because we got it very, very early.
Yes, Chad did confirm that.
Yep. So hook shot there in Link's house. We've had Bo and Kakariko, and of course we just found the Moon Pearl in Eastern, along with the first glove upgrade in the back of Sashira Hashirahala's hut. Those are our big items so far, and of course nice little net in Eastern.
Yeah, every little bit of safety is nice, and if we end up finding some kind of powder or a mushroom, we can put that to use with the bottle. Give ourselves a fairy kind of bout. Gem here setting up for a fast kill, getting a pretty good setup here. Looks like he's gonna nail it.
Indeed it is. So there we go, and first crystal for Gem.
Wait, first crystal for... Nice,
what?
I see what you did there.
I wasn't trying to do anything, I was just... Okay, look, leave me alone. Only 12 minutes in.
Well, that's 1 of 7 though, so we will definitely need all of the other 6 in order to progress and finish this game. There is also Desert Palace, which we don't have a book for yet, but down the road, if we get that, or a combination of Flute and Mirror and Titan's Mitts, we may be able to get that second crystal from here, though.
Indeed we can. So, going to head over and check the back of Escape right now. Jim's going to go to the Sanctuary and check out these 3 in the back. Just need 1 bomb and a glove upgrade to get to it from this side.
This seems like an almost certain place for the lamp at this point.
Yeah, again, getting low on locations already. And, well, we got another one open now because of that. Interesting enough, man. So we got this shovel. Everybody loves our fetch quest. Can't have a good rando seat without a fetch quest somewhere.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the subterranean flame, right?
Oh, man.
I mean, I can't... maybe it's book, though. I mean, this could still go on.
A buried book or some hot dirt. Something like that.
Oh, and also, chat pointing out that we have not seen Agina's cave either. Not having a reason to be over in the desert area, but we would be able to find that out.
Alrighty. Let's see what the dig provides us. Not even interested. Of course, Ben is definitely interested in getting this boss fight done as quick as possible.
Yep, so enthusiastic about finishing that fight, he gave the wall an extra arrow just for good measure. Gotta appreciate that. Both these guys have
the whole building. Alrighty, so that's it for the east side over there, and of course Jim is now making his way down to checking out the swamp area here. These couple Ben's already been here. So right now, you know, again, starting to really wind down those items. Of course, interesting enough, you know, we do have Zora in Logic, and Ben is just 16 rupees. Of course, he's going to have enough with that 50 we found in the back of Escape.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what would make someone take the plunge at this point. I mean, eventually we're going to either have to go to Aghanim or make a decision, you know, on where the last couple of items are. They are getting close to that point already.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be one of those things where someone's going to make that right choice. Again, you know, it's like Zora or what? Agina. Where do you go? 2 way out the way locations.
So, I mean, the tough thing is we don't have a sword yet, or any kind of means to get to the castle tower, but say we find, like, Cape or something, I don't think it would stop anybody from... Well, gosh, you'd have to have at least 1 sword to open up the curtains, but...
Yeah. I mean, we need 2. We need 2 items to even, you know, contemplate, you know, Aga 1, you know, if it's being short of a sword and a lamp.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pickle. We have to find something that's going to get us into... We either have to find the lamp or a book at this point, it seems like. And that may actually be a book in desert. Or Agina's cave, I mean.
Because we don't know what may be lurking in Escape anyway. We still got the dark room. I'm not sure about items that we had there, but we got a few more locations, but I feel like lamp is going to show up here very soon. Or I might just find a hammer and bam, we'll be in Dark World.
Also a possibility. That's one of the difficult things about these races is that until you find that last item that you need to get you to the next sphere of progression, so to speak, you really have no idea what it's going to be. You can only kind of narrow it down to a few things early on.
Yep. So we got Ben going through Hyrule Castle here. And Jim is getting that money needed. It's like he's going to work his way up to Zora here. It's over 500.
Yeah, smart decision. You have the Moon Pearl, too, so you can check Waterfall Cave.
Mm-hmm.
So we're about to see Gem almost certainly do a fake flipper here. What he's going to do is he's going to get 1 pixel away from a screen transition when he jumps into the water. Game doesn't really understand what's going on because it takes more than 1 frame to check to see if you have flippers. And the game just assumes you have them. So Gem's going to take advantage of that and check Zora real fast.
Indeed. Of course, you all haven't seen fake flip before. You know, be very careful because normally in the game you'll soft lock if you have to take damage. But of course, in the randomizer, they are so graciously programmed that you just take an instant death instead. So, gotta be careful not to take damage.
We saw a double soft lock in the NMG tournament, actually. It's pretty funny. The screen starts scrolling all funny.
Hey, man. Of course, Waterfall, nothing of interest. So we're gonna glance at the ledge over here, and hopefully Zora will come through with maybe the happiness or maybe yet another life lessons for our players.
And alternatively, Ben's also finding some information in a moment here. So exciting moment between the two. Big 20s between that and the Zora ledge. I guess it's up to Gem here.
Yep, things in Zelda, whoever this chick is. Nothing important this time. All right, let's see what 500 rupees gets us in this seed.
Oh no.
10% cash back. Well, Zora not the play.
I mean, to be fair, the Bank of Zora's Domain actually a better cash back rate than you get on most cards this place is
Dude, 10% is amazing. I'd be buying everything with my card that kind of rate.
Unfortunately, we did not receive any tangible goods for that, so our cashback scheme seems to be just a bit of a scam today instead of a scheme. But Ben won't be making the same checks, and Gem's gonna check the uncle. He may actually be the first one to check the uncle.
Yeah, man. We've got the uncle. We've got the chest over here. We got Agena getting very low on options here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ben already did this. Yeah, so Agena seems to be the only one. That being said, though, Ben will check the hobo item, which we did not see Gem do.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? We might look up into progression here. Hobo coming through? Oh, how thoughtful. So just a plus 10 arrow capacity from the hobo, and Gem now going into Hyrule Castle to do the same thing we saw Ben already do. So that's not gonna leave him anywhere helpful. Oh boy. Is my main man Agena gonna come through for once?
You know, he is the cowboy of the West. You know, you can't change my mind. That absolutely is a cowboy hat in his head.
Bruh, I'm insane. Could this have been one of those seasons where we could have had a major progression item literally, 10 minutes ago?
You know, I think that 10-gallon hat holds more than just, an item. I think it holds progression as well.
Oh, boy. Our dark room and escape is still out a lot, no lamps, so...
I
man.
mean, if Gem knows that that's the last item, besides wherever he's checking now here in the basement of Escape, may opt to just go for that item anyway, knowing that it's probably lamp locked.
Yeah, it could be something good, and I mean, do it, be done with it. No further visits here required. Well, for now anyway, it seems.
Yeah, because I mean, if you felt comfortable with those dark rooms and you knew you were going to get lamp anyway, it makes sense to me, but it's hard to make a decision to orphan which items and when. Ben, really well managing his rupees, still ends up not getting paid off for it over Gem, so just kind of how these little optimizations sometimes work.
Yeah, man. So right now, our two players are kind of just overlapping each other's footsteps here, checking what the other person hasn't checked and vice versa, and they're about both down to that final choice here.
Final choices and final arrows. Gem having to use his last ones to dispatch the ball and chain guard. He's saving and quitting, though. Ben heading towards the mountain. He's going to sequence break up.
Well, Well, if we go to the mountain here again, we don't have too many things we can do. All we got is literally with our old man and our check for Spectacle Rock Cave, and that's it. Unless we find something else.
Well, one of the nice benefits of coming up to the mountain now is that we will get the old man item if we can come through this way. And then, yep, you're dropping bombs. That's smart technique from Ben there. But we'll also have a save and quit point that we can start from on the mountain.
Very, very beneficial there.
However, Jem seems to have recognized inevitability, going to make his way over to Agina's cave. And this also gives him the information he needs to know whether or not it's an intelligent decision to do these kind of sequence breaks that Ben is doing. This will be some kind of intel.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You know, see, I'm so used to people not, like, breaking logic here. But, yeah, we do have access to the east side of Death Mountain with that early hook shot. And I tell you, these people just can't play games as intended. Throwing me off here.
That was Titan's mitts at Agina's cave, so...
But I tell you, both gloves.
It looks like both of the cowboys are, like, absolute roid heads. I mean, they've been lifting in both of their locations.
Hey, I support the lifting phenomenon, I'm telling you.
You know, the swole boys.
Hey, getting them gains, man. Of course, Jim has made some serious gains because Jim now does have dark roll access now, having both gloves in possession.
Well, this is a big boon to him, not for Ben, though. I mean, he's going to have to come back up the mountain, and that's going to be rough.
Yep. Only bad part is only has one portal to access, which was the one over there north of Kakariko Village, but it does get us into Dark World. So, again, meantime, let's see what Ben's going to find out here on the east side of Death Mountain. Again, a plethora of items here. 8 items to check out here across the 2 cave areas.
Yeah, lots of locations on the mountain right now available to both of them. Well, obviously they're going to sequence break up here, but it looks like those Titan's mitts were going to give us a lamp somewhere in Village of Outcasts or maybe a flute. Jem's definitely going to head up the mountain, though, with that clear lifting advantage.
Yeah, he's going to be to pick up that sword that Ben just picked up there in that first cave. That's our little mini Moldemer and matching that sword with Babby's first shield.
And these extra rupees are also pretty nice, too, because if it comes down to it and we have a bottle, which I'm surprised actually we don't have one yet, but when we do get one, we'll be able to buy some potions, and that may end up helping with either, well, we won't need it for a glitch. It'll just be good for general safety.
Yep. So, of course, only one more location right now, and that's Spiral Cave for Ben. We can't really get to here with no hook shot. I'm any hammer, should I say. Of course, for those in chat wondering, both of our guys in Light World had our gloves. One glove on Agina and one glove on Tasha Rahashala Hala. I don't think I've ever seen that pairing in a randomizer.
Yeah, I mean, but it makes sense, it just seems like it's, lore friendly that these two would be, regular 3-time-a-week lift bros. They're trying to put on the gains, and, they're just trying to get Link onto a healthy pattern of gaining. He just wants to put on more mass.
I think we need to have them update the sprites for those two players so they can get a little thicker, show off the gains of progression, I'm saying.
I mean, more pixels wouldn't hurt.
All right.
That being said, though, the slow walk of shame for Ben just to get a piece of heart.
Yeah, so fortunately Ben, getting a sword at least, but otherwise not too much going on with that eastern check, that Death Mountain. So he's gonna go follow Jem's footsteps and head to the southwest. So it's looking like right now the play is we're not going to find any kind of light source here in Light World. Looks like we're going to be hitting the Dark World at this rate.
Well, I've seen more paradoxical things in Randomizer, but not many. We, of course, now have much better access across the world. We may end up actually seeing a hookshot being used to great effect, since we don't really have those boots yet, and those would be critical.
By the way, that phone call was Blonde calling and saying, hey, come to Dark World here because you have access to me now. Thank you, Blonde.
But Ben will be the one to find out for us today that there is a green rupee on the ledge, so putting off desert for a while, potentially. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Village of Outcasts certainly seems appealing.
Indeed, man. Again, tons of things, fully clearable, items all over the place. And of course, everybody wants to go check out, see how Hype Cave is going to be this time.
Well, while these runners are doing some rather slow things at the moment, great time to remind you if you are interested in catching the French rebroadcast of this, there is Speed Gaming Française. You can see that link in the chat if you'd like to listen into the French restream of it, of course. And we're always looking for more people to do those multilingual casts. We currently have Spanish and Deutsch as well, German for the English speakers out there. And we're always looking for more for that as well.
Oh, well, wunderbar und au revoir.
That's more of both languages than I know.
Hey, thanks for me living in Germany, that's all I know. Pommes frites for everybody. Of course, speaking of pommes frites, hey, there's a lot of fries at stake in this race here because for those who don't know, this is the finals of the Summer Randomizer Link to the Past tournament here. Ben and Jim going out best of 5. Again, the goal is to win. The first to win 3 games wins that top cash prize of literally 400,000 pennies. Sounds much more impressive that way. You know, 400,000 pennies. Imagine what you could do with 400,000. Just, oh my goodness. So much ramen.
You know, I mean, you're not wrong. That would be enough to feed a small army with ramen.
Telling you, man. So, in Dark World here, Ben getting a little glimpse of the map there. Both of them in Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah, and they are both going to pick this hammer up and the blue goo right next to each other. So amazing that they would converge again exactly like this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is neck and neck again.
It really is, man. So that hammer is obviously very convenient. That gives us access to all the portals now and to Dark World. And of course, Sick Kid in case he's holding on to something pretty nice.
Well, Jem and Ben both finding out that it's Bombos over here. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll converge again and they'll be trying next and try next again.
Hey, and maybe if we're lucky, Bombos will just be sitting here in Hookshot Cave, right?
I've seen the key left under the mat a few times before. Ganon does seem to have a little bit of, I don't know, sense of humor in that regard.
Yeah. Well, not this time.
Alright, well, with those items found, Gem's out of there. So is Ben. And it seems like they're going to make some similar decisions here. You mentioned Hype Cave. That is definitely on the agenda for both these runners, it seems.
Oh, yeah. With that, getting that hammer in check and having that portal access, hey, no brainer for me.
Oh, but Ben may actually be going the opposite direction. He may be starting from Village of Outcasts, it looks like.
Okay. So again, another route divergence here. This could, you know, this is what swings races right here. These major path changes here.
All right, well, Gem's going to go from the opposite direction as Ben. He's going to find that Hype Cave first. 5 items in here. Chat, are we going to find something that lives up to its name, or is this going to be a Tripe Cave?
We'll find out soon. Ben's going to go check out our Sick Kid. Meanwhile, disappointment for Gem so far.
Oh, it's disappointment all around. But Gem does have tons of rupees now, so he can do anything he really wants. He can go to Palace of Darkness. He can... you know, do the dig game 10 times if he wants to.
You can go buy a whole bunch of potions and bombs and whatever.
Unfortunately, not enough rupees to buy a house in Breath of the Wild, but we're working our way there.
Oh boy. Is that wall even big enough for that?
Good question, good question. Gem making his way north, though, seems to be skipping Palace of Darkness for the moment. There is an item here in the pyramid, and of course, Catfish is accessible. And we've already been to Zora, so there wouldn't be a better time to be there.
That's indeed right. Again, having that pod not too, you know, just a few early checks, you know, not having a lamp, you know. Of course, these guys, who knows, man? Would you challenge it? Would you challenge that pod in the dark here?
Ooh, but Ben finding the boots in the chess game, paying off.
Man, oh man.
This way.
So there's a different speed advantage now for Ben going to Outcast first.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's just a comfort thing too. I mean, a lot of speed tech and a lot of, you know, dungeon and overworld strategies really rely on those boots. And both of these guys are definitely capable of putting them to the maximum use.
Oh yeah. Alright, so Jim's gonna make his way slowly but surely into Pod as Ben's gonna wrap up his Outcast checks.
You know, Gem, you know, as he's strolling on by, you may catch, you know, a quick clip of him, you know, asking Kiki if he still loves him, or if she still loves him. This monkey actually will walk away from you if you take damage, and you got to give him 10 rupees again to get him to follow you. 100 more for the door, and we are all set to go.
Kiki's literally a gold digger. What is this? We can't have that. Ugh.
Oh, absolutely. And the first sign of danger, gone. No such thing as ride or die here in Hyrule.
No time for that.
We're the closest thing to it for Zelda.
Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, just to ask a couple questions in the chat. Boots were found in the treasure game there in Outcast. And, of course, we did find those lovely boots there. And, of course, 7 crystals. Someone asked about the crystals. They need 7 crystals. All 7 of the crystal dungeons. That will give us access to Ganon, kill Ganon, win game.
Yep, and of course, once we have all the items we need in order to minimally accomplish that task, we are, of course, in go mode, which will be quite a while in this seed, it seems like. We did find out that a couple of important things are crystals, including Turtle Rock, but Ben did just find that ice rod in Thieves Town.
Of course, we saw that Turtle Rock is that crystal, so we're going to definitely need that one. Interesting, man. 2 different dungeons here. Who's going to work out with the better stock of items when this is all said and done here? Obviously, Jim. Oh boy, interesting if Jim goes for it.
Well, hey, big shout outs to Cassidy Moen, our tracker today, who is keeping us straight, figuring out, where these items are and how they're being picked up by these runners. Appreciate that. Because there's a lot to watch right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. We got these 2 players in 2 different locations here. Again, Ben can't fully clear Thieves Town here, having that hammered, so no issues there. Jim can clear this as well if.
Yeah, I mean, we have the minimum we would possibly need if we're not worried about being in the dark, which I doubt Gem is. So yeah, we can complete this dungeon.
Might not be easy to see, but we can get through it. Again, 4 items for Ben to find in Thieves Town. We've got 5 items to find. Unique items to find for Jim and Pod over there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this dungeon will live up to its name, the Palace of Darkness. Gem will make sure to get everything here, though. There is another way that you can get to this chest. You can hover across that gap. We saw Andy, who's going to be in the 3rd place runner-up race, coming up shortly in this series. Not between these 2, of course. We saw him do that against one of his previous opponents. So there's lots of different ways to gain advantages if you're really skilled in this game.
Yeah, Ben had a little bit of problem in that room there, getting hit by those very, very deadly green creatures. A lot of health there. We know we got blue mail, but don't want to get bit by those too many times.
Yeah, and they really do chunk you for a lot of damage. Ben here has 3.5 hearts to work with. Blue mail or not, there are a lot of things that will do heavy damage to you here in Thieves Town. This is, in the intended order of the game, pretty much Dungeon 4.
Yeah, shoot, not just Thieves Town, but just in Dark World in general. Very, very damaging enemies for sure. So Jim's going to start going to these 2 chests in the back. There's one on both sides of this, and of course there's a full heart one side, and another chest on the other side.
And as Ben does that, we're seeing these dark rooms, the approach to Helmasaur King, and Gem pulls it off. He's on the other side. I'm sorry, I thought he was in the middle of the room there, but even then, he did get those items. We're not going to be able to see just right away what it is, but we'll get a hammer jump from him here.
Of course, the left side, the big chest in Thieves Town, not impressive.
Well, Gem picks up a bee in a bottle for his trouble doing that hammer yump, as we like to call it. It requires 2 pixel-perfect placements, both Link and the bomb on the Y-axis. So Gem to do that with very minimal pause buffers, that was really impressive. We'll see if Ben has any trouble with his blind fight. This historically would be something that would mess with a lot of NMG runs.
So again, 9 hits, of course. 3 hits per phase, regardless of sword level. You can also use your hammer or your blue cane if you have it, or maybe even red cane if you have it.
I would much rather have the red cane than have to do a hammer kill, but Ben made that look easy. That was almost a perfect fight.
So Jim is going to take the Death Warp there. Again, taking a glance at his inventory to see what he got there.
Yeah, it would be good to have a mirror in this dungeon, but lacking that, we'll definitely take a death warp. And you also get a refill of your hearts too if you were maybe halfway down or lower.
Yep. All right, so Jim is going to head to the boss here again. He's going to deal with more dark rooms here as he heads to the bottom area. Again, that turtle room is a pretty devastating room if you don't have a really good knowledge of how to play that in the dark. That can really bother you very quickly.
I think it's easily the scariest dark room in the game, particularly if you're not going to have any kind of fire rod to light up that room, because there's a torch. Ben doesn't quite finish the M that he usually draws, but he does get red mail.
Yep, so he's on max defense over there.
Not a bad place to be with 12 hearts. Both of them actually do have the same health. That's something you don't often see this far into a race, but plenty of locations to check. Ben making good on that backwards routing from Gem's original choices.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to note that so far in this seed, it's like both of our first two crystal dungeons are going to be done outside of logic in the dark to get to them. Kind of just let you know these players they're not going to wait for logic to go their way. They're just going to do what they need to do when they can do it. So again, this first dark room, for those who don't know what's going on, the first room you have these pegs. We got to knock these pegs down. We've got to hit a switch to swap the blue and red ones so we can get to the next room with a single turtle. We're going to head left and down, and then the room of doom with all the turtles. Is it 6 in there?
Jim ain't trouble.
I think it's 6 of them in there. Because there are 2 torches, as you heard, you didn't mention no fire source, so we're not lighting up anything to see.
And yes, you're right. There are 6 in there. 1 on each side and then 4 below you.
Yep.
Gem's through, though.
Yep. Next room, push a block, hitting the portal, and then a straight upwards walk through 4 more turtles and then the boss door, and then we can get her done.
Wow, that was impressive. Only losing 1 heart in that entire sequence, doing it better than most people in the light can.
Yeah, that's crazy good.
Well, 17 smacks to the face with his hammer will take off the shield or the face mask of Helmasaur King. You could also throw 3 bombs, which Gem has plenty of. That's just kind of hard to do. You also saw that he despawned the fireball there by delaying his last hit until that fireball was on screen. That was really smart. Unfortunately, gets bad RG, gets another one anyway.
Again, a little crazy trying to hit a moving target here. But, wow. Arrows to the eye face, and that's it.
Yeah, we did see Gem attempt to do hammer hits on the jewel on the front of the eye, but unfortunately with the fighter sword, it's very hard to nail those. The longer your sword is, the better the hitbox is, so Master Sword and better would be nice. But we're going to get Catfish check from Ben here, which I don't believe Gem did.
Yep, Gem did not go up there yet. So we'll see how this swings. He's got a boot advantage. And, well, he's got a money advantage. Well, he would have had a little bit more. But anyways, not interested in the Big 20.
Yeah, so with that out of the way, a lot of those out of the way checks being done, Ben will also continue on his checks for anything that he can do with the boots, including King's Tomb here. We also have the Bonk Rocks available to us to the west.
Yeah, very, very close by. Yep, this is indeed the best of 5, so the first player to win 3 games out of the 5 potential games will be crowned the winner, and you'll know who to ask for money for a quick loan.
Well, there you go. Of course, if you're looking to tune in for the entire series, Game 2 tomorrow will be Thursday at 2 p.m. That's tomorrow, same time as today. Same deal with Friday for Game 3. And Game 4, if necessary, will be Saturday at 2. So we're going to have consecutive back-to-back days. Not sure on Game 5 if that's necessary. They'll probably schedule that if we get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the runner-up series for 3rd place, ALG Andy versus Pika Pal starts tomorrow at 9 p.m. and carries on that same pattern Friday as well.
Yep. Yep, both of them are also playing for some considerable amount of money for $500 for our 4th place victor, and our 3rd place finalists will take $1,000 home with them.
Hey, first turn of its kind. I'm sure all of them are relieved just to be in the money.
I'm telling you, man, yeah. Something like, I was talking to something. It feels like, hey, you just want another tournament. But like, no, this is like something you can actually take home. Something, you know, you can get something nice for your mom, or you know, a nice little webcam for your setup, or you know, some new clothes.
Hey, I mean, you know, it's pretty hard to ignore the rising role of esports here for speed gaming and speed running. So that'd be kind of interesting if somebody wanted to say join an esports team. Hey, I want a prize for this tournament. You know, it'd be pretty good way to legitimize speed running as a esport.
It is, man. See, old games can pay off. Bump the haters. You know.
All the people from like 2012 and 2013 that were running Link to the Past suddenly feel vindicated.
Who needs Fortnite to win a 4-digit amount of money? Yeah.
There you go.
We got Zelda action. Let's do it.
Well, Jem here has got the peg cave over by the blacksmiths. Both of our runners finding followers pretty quickly here. Big 20 in the cave. A lot of time spent. More than 20 pegs, I believe. Not a good conversion for Jem here. Walking away.
Yeah. Hopefully Jem will go ahead and get those boosts so we can start moving a little faster here.
Alright.
The streaming bunker. Oh my lord.
Hey, I mean, you know, if that's what it takes to get consistent internet connection for a stream, I mean, sometimes you gotta do it.
I tell you. Alright, Jim's gonna open up Thieves Town. We're gonna make those checks first.
Yeah, trying to tie all the loose ends at once. Probably hoping if he's gonna find the mirror, so you can also do Cave 45 and a couple of other convenient locations. Will not have that advantage though. We did not find anything that'll lead us to mirror yet. Yeah,
it looks like kind of interesting enough. Again, both of our players are going to kind of converge after they complete the opposite dungeons the other ones just did.
Palace of Darkness is considerably slower, but Jem is still doing these locations and gets the boots later. That was definitely a significant factor in the routing between these two. Low on health as well, 2.5 hearts. I'm wondering if we're going to see an intentional death warp after that fourth item.
Yeah, man. Playing a little risky here, but hey, these are professionals. Who needs hearts anyway?
Alright, well, if you're just tuning in and you're looking to get a sense of what's been going on with this race, nothing too flashy and exciting. We did find lift upgrades in both Sahasrala and Guinness locations, and that led us to where we are now. We just saw Jem pick up his ice rod here in Thieves Town. That's the only item of value. Ben will be able to full clear Palace of Darkness as long as he's comfy with these dark rooms. Jem already did it.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Ben just a few away from picking up those next two items here. Again, this is going to be very interesting to see what's going to play after this. Where do you go after this, you know? Trying to think about after this, you know, we don't have a lot more in Dark Road, honestly. You know, we already had a glimpse of the side of the pyramid here.
Yeah, and we have pretty much checked the large majority of the Dark World. At this point, it seems like pretty much everything overworld. So there is Skull Woods that we could look into. We can't access Swamp, which is a pendant.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have flippers for Ice Palace, and no flute for Misery Mire. Turtle Rock, we don't even have the Red Cane for.
Yeah, we have nothing yet, so, you know, looks like that Northwest Dark World might be just to take a glance. And again, 2 items in there. But it's amazing how quickly we unlock so many access locations, and all of a sudden, we shut them all away. So that, and maybe a little glance into Hera, you know, what's happening at Hammer now.
That certainly seems like a likely location to bring us to one of those remaining dungeons that we just mentioned. I mean, without all of that, oh, and I think Jack caught it and I might have missed it, but it looks like Jem picked up a God Pixel run here in Thieves Town. That's actually really difficult to do. You got to be on the exact right pixel and have enemy RNG. Agree with you. So well done by him.
Yep. Yeah, Hera is in access though. We do have hook shots, so we have to go a long way, unfortunately, and work our way all the way back up around via the Hammer route. But we can't get into Hera. Of course, that is also the green, so who knows? We might make another visit back to Sasha Rahashala Hollow's house. Maybe something good there.
Yeah, that is one really long fetch quest that's absolutely on the table. So, I mean, you can go to the top of the mountain. You can go to, you know, it's not quite a valley low, but, you know, you don't have to cross any rivers to get there, but it's a hospital that might have that item for us.
Of course, ironically, all of Death Mountain is still logically not in play yet, but
That's true. We have not found that lamp.
yeah. But that's not going to stop these players. As you see, Ben continuing that non-logic, doing these dark rooms here again, in that dark room maze there.
You know, by the looks of things, it really does seem like Skull Woods got either the lamp or the flute. How else would we have picked up this chain?
Yeah.
Because those Titans bits were accessible to us, so we could, and the Moon Pearl as well. We could have made it into the West Dark World already.
Yeah, definitely sure was. All right, so another death warp there for Ben. Again, not having that valuable mirror or anything else to make it easier. So it's not going to head to the boss now. As speaking of boss, Jim is going to take care of Blind.
And of course, this is that scripted fight. He knows exactly which movements he needs to make, and the setup is good. Actually, oh, that's about as close to frame perfect, or as I mean, that's pretty much the closest you can get with Fighter Sword to perfect for Blind. That was really impressive.
Yep. So again, he was fighting it because he wanted to make sure you get all the items there. Again, that was the 4th item location. Only one that was left. Even though it's just a raid, who knows what might happen, you know. I'm not gonna say the pet is dead quite yet, but you know. Right now we got too many other things to kind of worry about because we are getting kind of low on locations here.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to find that Jem ended up finishing up his respective dungeon before Ben, despite not having that boots advantage for quite a while for the entire Palace of Darkness, actually. So, provided that we don't waste a whole lot of time here, Jem is going to find something quite quickly, well before Ben does.
He's going to take that frog right now. He's going to take him for a little walk here. He's going to try to check these boots locations here. I'm going to take a glance at Bumper Cave while he's up here.
Yeah, not every follower in the game, particularly the purple chest, can run, or the big bomb can run like you can, but the blacksmith frog absolutely can. So the Pegasus shoes do work by extension. Not exactly sure how that works, but
yeah. Looks like he's going to take that frog even farther with them. Just going to head into the front part of Skull Woods here, and let's see if we can find a couple things. Only 2 items to find in here. But we do have access to the front part. We can't get to the back without having our fire rod. And man, there's one of our items right there.
You know, I don't think I see many people bring the blacksmith into a dungeon. Kind of worried he's gonna croak in here, but no, he finds that lamp and the save and quit will bring him to safety.
Both items are the first 2, so man, oh man, that opens up logically quite a bit of stuff here. Most of the stuff they've kind of already been to.
Yeah, so I mean that's definitely the first time I've seen someone drop in there though with the frog though. That's wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I've actually seen that myself, to be honest with you.
I guess it just comes up very infrequently. I mean, you can only drop into the pit to do that. You can't walk into the dungeon with the follower. So I mean, of course, that's not an intended thing that you normally have to deal with. Or at least that I don't think developers really thought about that scenario. Jem will be able to turn that in, though, having checked the boots locked locations, like you mentioned.
Yep.
Ben has some choices to make as well.
Yeah, he's going to make it. He's just going to have to get there anyway at some point. You know, who knows if it just happens to be that, you know, some kind of progression's in here, and we do need to get that lamp, and they're able to make the basement trip. So, it probably don't even help him. Definitely won't hurt him to have it. Man,
well, hop, skip, and a jump for Jem over that ledge with the former frog, now blacksmith. Interesting how that career change happened.
Man, I'm telling you, I know one thing. This guy's getting drugged all around the Hyrule. He's probably tired of that. Like, man, I was so close to my home. He took me all the way around on this field trip.
You know, it was such a long journey, he grew a beard.
Oh, my goodness. He was like, here, have this whack at him now. Something that you totally don't want.
Oh, moment of truth. And Jem going the long way is going to get his flute.
Well, okay, well, so much for it being a whack item. And a very, very good convenience, being very, very close to activated, so ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, logically speaking, Jem finally answering the call. The bird will be arriving shortly. Jem's going to make sure to check this sick kit item, which we already knew was trash. But he does get another heart container out of it, so why not?
That's really interesting now because now we had both gloves pretty early, and that dark world access, we could have gone that route to gain access to to the mountain.
Yeah, so I guess in the intended route that this seed was supposed to be done, we should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. Boy, this is definitely one of those seeds where access was very, very early on, but, just not going the right ways, not going the right routes first. But, when these people are selling their path choices, you got to commit to them. And they got, 2 crystals out of it early. Nothing wrong with that. But we are going to get our goose on here.
Yeah, interestingly enough, Gem, they're setting up for a potential glitch we may end up seeing in Mystery Mire called Spooky Action Glitch. The problem is that we don't have a fire rod, so I'm not sure what he was going for there, but was that an ether?
Yep, that was. Don't worry, ether will be right here. I bet you 1 whole penny.
I would double that myself, but doors under the mat not apparently a theme today. Gem's gonna come up empty-handed here in the Mire area.
Oh, there goes my life savings.
Hey, you gotta start 1 penny at a time, right?
Just double that 1 penny every day. I'd be rich.
I'm really admiring the gumption of Gem here, though, having very little to complete the dungeon with. We don't have the Cane of Samaria to finish off Vitreous, and there's only 2 item locations in here. Be very surprised to see if we actually can finish this.
Yeah, this is a very, very bold move here. This is a crystal dungeon, so oh boy. This is kind of like going into doggone, Turtle Route without fire or ice rod. Just hoping you find them both.
A gutsy decision, but you never know if that's really going to pay off until you're locked by that item. There was a question in chat about ice rod and the spooky action glitch. No, because there's no splash damage on the ice rod. So you would not be able to use that with ice rod. It really only works with, I think it can work with other items, but there's way more complicated stuff going on with that. Ben here, though, narrowly avoiding a bumper skip disaster.
Yeah, just a little bit off there, and that's a fall. That's a pretty nasty fall there. All right, so Ben's going to work on getting that green pendant here.
Not following the advice of the locals, he will chase the worm, and Ben does manage to emerge victorious, getting his Master Sword for it as well.
Unfortunately, Jim finds his first item there. Nothing he's looking for, so only 1 location left to find. Hopefully, he can get to it.
Yeah, we don't have a fire source, so there's at least 1 item over here that's completely blocked. Whether or not it's the actual item or a dungeon item. Oh, we do have a lamp, I forgot. So yeah, we're good.
Yeah, a little bit more time consuming on that second one. That torch room usually use fire rod there just to make it a little quicker.
And it's looking like we're gonna go through the cutscene room.
Yep. Ben's heading through Spike Cave here, slowly but surely.
And is going to rely on his blue potion, which may end up being troublesome later. Although with half magic and all the health we have, the armor, maybe he's thinking, hey, it's probably a safe bet anyway.
Yeah, so playing it safe, not rewarded though, unfortunately. Jim's going to this room, again, the slow way, having to do in classic Zelda fashion, a lot of block pushing.
Well, I'm really amazed that he managed to slide through with the having to push the blocks on the second half, all before the first half went unlit. That's actually really good, tight timing. Yeah.
Let's see if that time is going to result in something. Obviously, the best thing that Jim can find the way having to double dip this is obviously find that red cane. Definitely a desired find right now.
And that's the other thing, too, is committing to doing this. If he finds it here, for example, oh, that's red, but that's not the one we're looking for.
Oh, and he is going to be done with this. I mean, he can go look for keys or whatever, but it's not even...
Yeah, it's certainly worth it to have everything you can get. That way, when you come back, later, you can kind of make it one quick trip. But if Gem were to forget that there's only 2 items in here, or that you need that red cane somehow, that would actually be a huge time loss.
Yeah, but there's the big key, so that ends his trek. So, pending red cane, he'll come back in and take care of that much later, I'm sure.
Well, we already know the catfish is out of the question, so it looks like Ben's sniffed out the last remaining location that's going to give us our progression here in the escape. Which, again, we could have got that lamp somewhat earlier in the race had we gone a different route. So this could have been open to us.
Tell you, man, it's the kind of things when you realize it's like, oh man, did my opponent do this? Am I way behind? They don't know. And there is our aquatic device right there to get into logically hobo, but of course, probably more importantly, that doggone southern death area. But we still have some things there. We still need to find mirror.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to where these flips will send us first. I mean, you can't go to Swamp Path. Yeah, it's got to be ice then. Although, did we find both items in Skull Woods?
Yeah, both items in Skull Woods are the first two there. So, Skull Woods is already out of limits now.
Goodness gracious. Well, yeah, so those flips are definitely going to send us to Ice Palaces. We already saw Hobo is meaningless. We may see Gem actually check that.
Yeah, we can't even go to ice. We don't have any fire. We don't have any bombos. We have no fire rod. So we got purple chest. We've got purple chest. That's about all that's left. You know, we don't have any mirror. So chest to chest, man, I have to come through here.
And interestingly enough, that may actually give Gem a chance to catch up a little bit, seeing as he's going to spend the time on Hobo here. We'll probably come to that conclusion before Ben will.
Yeah, this is really getting interesting here now. And you know what's even more ironic is the fact that we're getting down just like a single location again, which is crazy, honestly.
Conversion's definitely unreal today. Although I gotta think Ben's gonna check Meyer area before Gem, or before coming back for the purple chest.
And of course, we still have Sasha Rahasha Hollow from the green we got. No one's gone over there yet, I don't think. Has Ben gone there yet? I don't think he has.
No, I haven't seen anybody on stream so far.
So, you know, we still got that green lurking. So we've got Sarashula, we've got Chester, and did we do Sasha Rahashala? The chat says we did. Good job for our 400 or 500 co-commentators.
We appreciate it. Sometimes you miss one.
No, I got 4 hours. Come on now, give me a break.
Ben will. Oh wait, you wear glasses?
Well, I do. They're thick. The base will be 8 glasses. Dude, I got like 20,000 vision on my glasses.
Hey, there you go. Sometimes you just gotta see those map checks from a distance, because honestly, runners don't give us very much time usually.
I tell you. So, hopefully Chester will come through again. Jim's gonna hit into Hera.
Yeah, another interesting side trip. You know, Ben has plenty of rubies to work with. We'll replace that blue goo that he had earlier. Could have emptied out a bee from a bottle. I don't think he chose to.
He likes his pet bee.
Shout out to Vitorp. Vitorp seed confirmed, I guess.
Yeah.
Ben also doing his spooky setup. I guess it's become muscle memory.
So Ben's gonna follow in suit here, like Jim did. So, boy, they're gonna converge soon.
Yeah, that's coming down to the wire. I mean, did we see Jim go to the back of Escape? He picked up his flippers too, right?
Yeah. No, actually, Jim. I don't think Jim has been back to Escape yet.
Yeah, we saw them around there about the same time. Forgetting for a second there.
This is really interesting, man, because there's so many things they have done that they literally delayed that could honestly give people like a 10-minute advantage right now.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, they've been forced to pretty much end up at the exact same spot, so somewhat tension building for them. You got to think that your opponent may have checked Aginas in the first, 10 minutes maybe. Maybe they just made that decision in game 1 of the series. You always got to be wondering in the back of your mind, how could this have been more optimal?
I tell you what, I am shocked that both Ben and Jim went to Meyer without being able to clear it. That's really shocking to me, especially with the low number of items. That's really interesting.
And that being said, 2 items is a lot of items at this point.
Yeah, 2 is more than 0. But especially when you don't know if you can access them all, is a very, very big difference for me.
Well, it looks like some of our astute viewers out there are bringing up the possibility of a Canis Samaria on pedestal. You do not need the Canis Samaria for Swamp Palace. We just need a mirror, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to not get all hyped yet for the ped possibility, but you know.
I mean, we're narrowing down. It's been an hour, and we still do not know where our go mode is.
If for some reason we go through all 6 items in Swamp and none of them give us progression besides the pendant, that would be something.
Well, speaking of reducing to the ridiculous, Gem here making sure Spike Cave's not the culprit today, and probably realizing that purple chest is coming up.
Yeah.
On the bright side, while we don't have the ability to mirror, we can at least flute. Gem taking advantage of the old man's special hugs, I guess, in the cavern, getting a full heal off the saving quit. That's the fastest one on the mount.
Oh, I know it's hype, trust me. Ain't no one more hype than a doggone Agra plus ped seed than me. But I didn't wanna get too hyped yet until we can actually get access into Swamp yet. That's what I want. So if we can get a mirror, oh, I'm beyond hype. You know, I just know we don't have that ability quite yet.
And there's that $5 from the uncle. Or not the uncle, I'm sorry, Sahasrilla. Sarsaparilla, whatever you prefer to call him. That $5 is good for a little bit of candy here in Hyrule. Really don't have a use for it today.
Yeah, man. So here we go. Jim's head up to our portal here. It's like it's gonna do here. Interesting enough, Ben didn't even. I don't think Jim even went on the right side of Meyer, like Ben is right now.
Yeah, I would think that Gem realized that had to have been a key. You know, counting his items differently. Ben did take a slightly different route. He was attempting to avoid the cutscene room. We'll find a lot of disappointment, though, regardless.
Yeah. All right, so Chester has been obtained here, so very, very likely that Chester's gonna give us something, you know. Hey, we can get mirror, then of course it opens up a couple locations here. Of course, opens up doggone Swamp for the jackpot of items there.
Yeah, that's 6 item locations, so I mean that would be massive for us.
So if you all want your ped hype, which I'm building up towards now, hope this is a mirror.
Ooh.
Well, that's interesting. Now we have access to ice.
On top of that, we can also do Mothula over in Skull Woods. So while I think we found both items like you mentioned in Skull Woods.
Yeah.
That would be a completion of another dungeon, though.
Yeah, I think I just hold off on Mothula because there was no progression there, but ice our next play here.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to kind of identify, hey, that's exactly what the progression or the chain of dungeons is going to be. That knowledge is going to help out.
Yeah, this is really making it very, very linear when we just open up this one kind of single location here. So of course we already got everything out of Swamp, so I mean out of Skullwood, should I say? So they'll probably deal with that much later.
Yeah, I got to think that's the last one you do before you go up to Turtle Rock.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so Jim wasting no time, and here we go again. 3 items to find, and big key. Always a nice find to have that early.
Yep, makes the rest of the routing pretty simple. This fairy not being a friend, Gem. You'd think that was like, I mean, since we are in Ice Palace, you'd think that was like Datsuk or something on the ice, just dangling him there.
Oh my goodness! I'm like, Navi, please. Gosh.
Hey, listen, folks, if you're just tuning in, you are watching the finals here of the summer tournament, Link to the Past Randomizer. Gem versus ajneb174, aka Ben, 2-time winner of tournaments, and Gem also a titan in the Link to the Past community. This is going to be an exciting finish, and we're still not at go mode, an hour and 5 minutes in.
Man, we've got a... Man, we need a bid here, it seems. Red Cane, obviously very, very vital to completion of 2 dungeons, both Turtle Rock and Meyer. And of course, we still have no access to Desert.
Certainly seems like it's been out there for a long time.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So, if we find that mirror, we're in business.
Ooh, the bomb strats from Gem, though, making it
Wow.
look real nice and slick.
Man, this guy.
Hey, he must not be a fan of pen gators, making sure they see an explosive end.
Oh my goodness, murderer. Alright, so again, making sure we check all these locations here again. Gotta find all 3 of them. I'm gonna go ahead and take the intentional damage there, not worry about those nasty creatures there.
Ben also putting on display for us, as we already saw from Gem in this room before, the hookshot's a lethal weapon against pen gators. Very effective in this dungeon as well, because it does, neutralize that movement, or you keep the inertia that you had, but you can at least, latch onto surfaces and kind of stop at them.
Yeah. So mirror is going to be required. Well, actually, let me take that back right now. Mirror is not necessarily required unless we have to go into swamp at the moment, which I really hope we do.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's likely. That's going to be so many item locations. We're still missing quite a few.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, we do have mirror now for Gem, so I guess it doesn't really matter now, does it? So there is our access now for Dark World. I mean for Desert. Timing was amazing there, I must say. Good job, Jim.
Well, Gem can't hear us, unfortunately. As you guys may have already seen in other tournament matches, there is quite a lengthy delay involved to keep things fair. I'm sure of that.
That's right. Just call me now, 1-900 Big John, for all your psychic needs right there. So we got access to every dungeon now except for Turtle Rock. And now it's going to get fun because now we've got so many locations to go to. Who's going to find that pivotal Red King?
I'm wondering, Big John, does that also make you like a time traveler? Because, I mean, there's a 30-minute delay involved here.
I have amazing stress. I'm just saying. My stress need a book to just be discussed. You just don't know, man.
Well, speaking of strats, Gem reading the Cold Stare movement like it was in a library. No book yet, but definitely a burned down few puffs in that fight. Gem emerging unscathed.
Mm-hmm. So with Gem having that mirror, again, outside of even our dungeon access, man, but we've got obviously all those mirror locations, we've got doggone, we've got K45 to go check if we want to go there. We still got the cliff. Of course, all the new dungeons now, we've got Swamp fully clearable with the big 6 items. Desert, which obviously is a crystal, so very, very needed.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Gem going there first, as clearing this out while you have everything you need for it. Certainly a nicer prospect than, giving up the potential go mode for Swamp. If we do manage to have a go mode for Swamp, there's several minutes that we can save not going to the left side.
Oh, man. Hopefully we can not even deal with Swamp at all if you're to play. Like, no one wants to deal with Swamp, especially when you're hunting for an item when it's a pendant anyway. Of course, maybe that pendant might lead us to the pedestal, because it surely could happen right now. We definitely could have Red King on pedestal now. Nothing is stopping that.
Yeah, we're not boots locked here. Of course, we have the boots all along. Big key here in the torch, so Gem will continue on, walking past the room with the telepathic tile in there in the Beamos statue. We'll be able to pick up this chest here, which will bring him to the east side, although the room on the east side, or in the center of the dungeon, could have also had this small key. He finds it in that chest.
Mm-hmm. The chat apparently has confirmed that we know 100% that the pedestal is Red King. I'm with you.
One can hope, one can pray that 1 out of every 10 seeds would be the pedestal, but Mushroom and Desert doesn't exactly help that just yet.
Oh boy. Man, oh man. More
Cheese beats. We can check the magic bat.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We don't need to worry about that mushroom. Oh boy.
Well, Gem putting that mushroom or that mirror to great use. Gonna re-exit and head straight for the back of this dungeon. It is go real fast time, isn't it?
Well, we have to have access to TR, and we have to find Bombos. That Bombos is all that we need. Bombos is our go mode item in this particular seed here.
Yeah, just to get into Turtle Rock. I mean, that's a scenario you don't see that often anymore.
Yeah, and of course, like we just mentioned, man, there's a quite abundance of items here to go check. You know, of course, right now, I don't know. Jim does have a little advantage here. I don't know. It's not as big as an advantage, I would say, but you know, with a slight edge. Of course, he still has a check. I think that Ben hasn't done yet.
What was that?
I think he didn't do Chester, or one of the two. Something he didn't do. But he probably won't even think about it now because he's got so many other things to go check.
Yeah, this is the tough part. Is you got to figure out, you know, where am I willing to look to find this last medallion? Both of our runners know what they need, so it's not like we're short on that information. I mean,
you know,
Swamp looking pretty much like it's going to be the play for that.
I know. Being the fact you just found Mushroom, I would definitely fly over to 2 and just go ahead and check that real quick. Make sure it's not just sitting there. Very, very easily accessible.
Yeah, that would be a criminal thing to have happen to your seed. You know, just find out that you went through all of Swamp, checked for all 6 items, and then it was on Mushroom that whole time.
Yeah, those are things you don't like to remember happened.
And Chad also being very astute, noticing that Ben actually skipped the right side of Desert Palace since he can come back after the boss. Interesting routing decision, but not a big deal either way.
Yeah. So Jim already working on those mirror locations, starting with checkerboard, hoping for Bombos, and well, it's not a Bombos.
Yeah, just a piece of his heart. Not enough to make a full heart container. Certainly not worth stopping for right now. So, the Grove and the Mushroom item both looking very appealing. Going to check that Mushroom now. Yep. I'm actually kind of surprised to not see a magic bat check, but I guess knowing that it's not in logic, wouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, definitely so. And well, definitely worth the trip to go there. Good old Tempered Swords in there on the witch.
Yeah, as far as time efficiency goes, that was much better than, say, finding something at, you know, the powder location. I don't think there really would have been anything that would have saved time except for Bombos at the magic bat.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So looks like Jim is just gonna go ahead and get this out the way now.
Yeah, it's a smart decision. You know, if you can clear a dungeon, you have all the items you need, there's nothing that you can pick up that's going to make it really faster. By all means, you know, clear it when you can.
Yeah, he's got everything he needs. He already picked up the big key and all that goodies, so he's ready to go. But he might just go ahead and, you know, he's still got Skull Woods.
You know, it's finishable. You know, the only thing we're really missing for Turtle Rock is just that medallion. So, I mean, if you get all your crystals first, then, you know, you can only spend, you know, moments in Skullwoods, or not Skullwoods, Swamp Palace if you're lucky. But I believe that he knows that it's going to be in Swamp. K45, though, I think is the only other mirror location. We have Graveyard Ledge, too.
Yeah, Graveyard is still looming out there.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Alright, so a little off placement there for that block, but we're all good. Again, I already found in all the items in here, so just get to the boss, get her done, and get that, what's that, 5th crystal for Jim.
There's still a chance that we could end up with both of our runners in Turtle Rock, Trinex, you know, pretty much being their neck and neck boss fight. We see some spooky action from Gem there. Kind of sneaky, too, because he didn't do the first room with it. But what was going on there is the splash damage from the Fire Rod has some weird properties where if you give the game an altitude value, say from the sprite of the duck when it flies off screen when you first flew over here, you can influence it and make the splash damage hit from much farther away. Gem doing so with great effect, using that to hit a couple switches and saves about 7 or 8 seconds, actually.
And a time save is always time save, especially in a tight tournament like this. So Gem's gonna pick up his next crystal here, so you know he's got He's got swamp. You know, very likely with so many items. You know, so much item density there. 6 of them there. And once he finds it, you know, he can bounce. Unless Bombos is on, you know where.
Hey, I mean, it's still out there. It's still possible.
You know, I mean, we could obviously go, you know, have magic powder on the doggone on the pedestal and swing by the bat to pick up that Bombos. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be quite a wild trip. You know, it wouldn't be a hook shot or a long shot for that to happen.
Oh yeah, I was gonna make it actually longer, but we already saw a glimpse of Bumper Cave, so I can't go that deep. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Of course, you might find a book. Oh man, you can still have some craziness though with the book involved. You know. Alright, we could have our third crystal, our third pendant take us to tablet, giving us magic powder, which gives us a book. Just to prolong it a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, these are some exotic situations, but we've seen some crazy stuff in both this tournament and, of course, tournaments past. Link to the Past Randomizer, gloves are off until you find the lifting gear. And you never know when you're going to run into something headlong that is just the worst possible troll.
Yeah. So right now, Ben, as soon as Ben finds Bombos, if it's in here at all, we're good. And, of course, there's silver arrows, the first of 6 items to find, so...
You know, I don't say this very often, but is there maybe a chance of a vanilla Bombos?
Vanilla Bombos, say? Would that be like a bug report I should send to VTorp or something?
No, I don't think anybody should be right now. I think he's got enough things to deal with.
Oh, this guy.
For those of you guys tuning in who haven't been keeping up with the version stuff going on, there is, of course, the new version 30 coming out soon, trademark TM. I can't speak for the developers specifically, but they've been working really hard to get that ready for the fall tournament. And one of the new game modes, inverted mode, is definitely worth checking out.
It is so fun, man. Oh my goodness, you all just don't know.
Yeah, so, you know, if you like the open mode format of this tournament, of course, the qualifiers for the next one for fall will also be like that. But for this summer tournament, it's been very exciting to see, even just in open mode alone. These runners have really been putting it all down, doing everything they can to get part of this prize pool.
Man, we're soon going to literally flip the world upside down, man. It's going to be... Oh, man.
And, of course, a big shout-out and a big thanks to Twitch for sponsoring this event. You know, giving us the awesome platform for the Link to the Past community that all the support of Twitch gives. We've actually been featured several times on front page, so, I mean, it's really awesome to get an opportunity to show more people this amazing ROM hack.
That's right, and, of course, not to mention, you all can... Maybe you all want to play this yourselves, you know, tons of resources that you all can play this your very selves, run your own computers or, you know, go on those flash drives or whatever. And there's nothing like playing this, man. It's very, very addicting. In fact, just to give you an FYI, even if you've never played this game, what do you want? What do you want, Vitor? See, that's like you talk about them. Even if you haven't played this before, there's so many people in the tournament who have never even played this game in vanilla. You know? Vanilla is like foreign to them. You know, half the people in the previous tournament had never even played vanilla.
Hey, so, but Big John, was that Argus calling?
Actually, that was Augustin saying, "Hey, I bet you'll never find my Bombos."
And if not, something that'll take you there. So
I'm telling you,
either has some booty for us or a map that'll lead us there, pretty much.
Yep. So you saw Ben skipped the left side again, hoping that maybe we can find our Bombos here. We're gonna find out very soon.
Ooh, and Ben's going for the 0 cycle.
Oh my.
Here's that NMG experience coming in. He nails it. Oh my goodness.
Him so fast. Slow down, streamer.
Oh, what a perfect. That was as close to as perfect as I've ever seen a 0 cycle.
Wow.
Argus. That was incredible.
Wow. What?
And no item.
Yeah, that's all I can say on that one. Oh my goodness, where are the clips at on that one?
So this is the tough thing is, you know, there are 2 items left, I believe, on the left. or 3 items total if we count the big chest. Chat's kind of keeping us aligned on that, so there's no way you're skipping that. I mean, even if you can do the pedestal, why would you if you have these options available?
Oh yeah, get them done now and then deal with that later if you need to.
Ooh, Gem went for a 0 cycle attempt as well, but the problem with this is you have to do you have to have your sword outstretched and do a hook dash at the same time, which is an item dash by pressing dash and Y simultaneously. Gem actually does pull off the backup of it, doesn't unfortunately get a 0 cycle, but very impressive kill as well.
So far Ben just found the big 20 in the big chest, so he will have to go deeper into this dungeon. Just 2 locations left to look at.
Yep, the oft-cursed left side swamp. Knowing that your opponent definitely had to do it too, though, you know, it doesn't hurt as bad to, or doesn't feel like it hurts as bad to do. An hour 21 minutes though. You know, I mean, I'd be feeling a little behind at this point.
Yeah, you definitely are a little concerned, especially at this skill level. Like, man, oh man.
Yeah, and then Chad pointing out astutely that we'll definitely need to be checking Graveyard Ledge if there's nothing here. That would be the worst, because, you know, you felt like you just dumped all that time, and then you're wondering, like, which location did I forget?
Yeah, when you have to, you told me earlier, if you have to do Swamp, and you literally get nothing out of it, it's so much time. Time is really hard to recover if if your partner did not make, or your opponent did not do that choice. So, I don't know, man. What are you really looking for right now? I mean, I'm trying to figure out someone that can still put a chance in our players to still have divergence, like the book. You know, having the book now could have a choice of which tablet to go to, for instance.
Oh, I would absolutely have the book lead to Gold Sword and, like, you know, 10 arrows or 10 bombs. You know, like, I mean, both of them have to be worthless, but more preferable than pedestal.
Well, here comes that last item, and there is Bombos, as far as we could have gone to put it in there.
So an hour 22 and about 30. Ben is the first one to enter go mode, and Gem not far behind, looking at a minute and a half, I think, deficit.
Yeah. So looks like right now, of course, Ben's gonna go take care of Meyer.
Oh yeah, so Gem already has that complete over Ben. That's a really nice advantage for him, as it's already gone through and cleared everything out. It does say it takes time to get to the basement, and we saw Gem pull off successful spooky action glitch.
This is gonna be interesting. He has to do Meyer, but they both have to take care of Skull Woods, which is pretty quick for both of them. So it's going to be interesting to see the timing where they end up here. Again, once Gem finishes this, he's going to be to go straight to Skull Woods right after this grab.
Well, one thing Ben can do to save some time in here is he can save up to 5 seconds over Gem if he does all 3 of the spooky action glitch fire rod shots. Gem only did 2 of the 3, so that's the only time he can save here and Meyer over his opponent.
And he's going to need that to really reduce this. Again, it's like Gem has a slight little edge here. So Gem is going to take flight. So Bombos, if those who missed it, why weren't you paying attention? I ain't gonna tell you. No, I'm gonna tell you. It was on the left side of Swamp Palace and the left side on the right chest.
I'm sorry, did you say the left side of Torture Town?
The left side of the right chest? Is that right? The left side, right chest?
Right yeah, I mean, that's
chest.
Probably the correct way to say it.
It was in a chest on the left side.
It was locked behind pain, I think is the proper syntax.
There you go.
It's like a moth to the flame, Gem is going to take care of Mothula here in Skull Woods. The last thing we need to do heading up to the mountain. No Pyramid Fairy today, but we're getting some successful spooky action glitch from Ajneb, or Ben, as he prefers to be called, as well. So it looks like there's that time save for him.
Yeah, man. So it looks like unless something catastrophic happens, they're both kind of in the same situation here. Level 3 sword, silvers, and you'll see Ben fall right behind Gem right now.
Ben also pulling off a 0 cycle Vitreous with those silver arrows, which Gem did not have access to at the time, as I believe he did damage boost strats, and Gem actually did get 1 lightning attack. So more little time saves, all of which are becoming critical at this point.
Yeah, definitely so. So, of course, as Gem is almost going to our next fight here against our Mothula. But no, this is the best of 5 here. So this is the finals. This is game number 1 of up to potential 5. The goal is to beat and win 3 games. The first player to win 3 games will be crowned the winner of the Into the Past Randomizer Summer Tournament. Of course, they will also take home 400,000 pennies.
Good Lord. Well, Jem's definitely feeling the hunger for that prize winning. He's burning down that Mothula with no problem. Having actually some interesting NMG style strats, doing a dash poke at the very beginning against the block to the north. You can get some extra damage done on that. If you knock Mothula into the spikes, it takes no damage, so it can be a very frustrating fight. Barely had to use his fire rod. That was really nice.
Yeah, definitely so. So it's gonna save and quit and go ahead and head up to Turtle Rock and get this last of the 7 crystals, and then we'll be able to hit the Gannon's Tower. Try to get that game 1 win here potentially.
Well, good news for Ben is that if he has a really nice, perfect fight with Mothula, he is going to save time over Gem, despite Gem not really struggling with the fight. It was a little time costly due to the way that Mothula is moving around, and you can finish that fight in seconds. So all the little time saves potentially helping him out here.
Yeah. No, this is not a pedestal seat. I'm so sorry. Don't worry. We are all disappointed, I'm sure. But I hope. See, we're not going to give you a pedestal seat now because hopefully game 2 will be both a ped and AGA 1 required seed. So I'm sure you wouldn't mind that one.
Yeah, you got to layer it in, and it's got to be later in the series.
You know.
Ooh, interesting choice by Ben there, taking damage intentionally from the mini Helmasaur. To make sure he didn't have sword beams for this fight. That's actually a really smart heads-up decision.
We gotta teach y'all math here. Okay, class. How many pennies are in $1?
100.
Okay, so that means how many pennies are in $10?
1,000.
Yay! And math. Someone break up my TI 83 plus. Let me teach y'all how to do this stuff. Yes, the cash prize, y'all. We are not just stuttering here. $4,000 for first place, $2,000 for second. Both of these players are guaranteed at least $2K. One of them is going to win twice as much as the other, though.
Holy mackerel!
We should give them like 400,000 1-cent checks. Here, I'd like to cash these, please.
I'm pretty sure the paper would be more expensive than the prize. You monster! How would you want to kill a tree like that?
Oh my! We kill a tree. Oh. They died for our sins. It's okay.
You know, I'm sure Stumpy wouldn't appreciate that.
Well, that's why no one cares about Stumpy right now. That's why he left him.
Fair enough. He was Garbo today, so.
Provide a better item will keep you alive, bruh. You know? All right, so Jim's head onto the right side here on the hunt to find that big key.
All right, so then this is even still it's narrowing. This isn't really that far apart anymore. In fact, one death
really
here in Turtle Rock. This is one of those situations where if I knew where my opponent was, I would really consider the safety door at the end.
Tell you, man. Oh, boy.
I mean, like, there's no reason to think anybody's going to die to try next, but just the thought that, you know, hey, maybe I'll mess something up and take extra damage or run out of magic somehow. Like, that'd be rough.
Yeah, if they get a little too greedy, you know, I mean, you know, you're in a very, very, you know, tight, your competitor is really, really good, you know, no safe strats here, you know, you want to be aggressive. Sometimes you may be a little bit more YOLO on what you're going to do because, you know, you want to make sure you get that W. You know, you don't want to start this tournament series, you know, behind, you know, it's a little more added pressure on there.
Well, right now, Ben's about 5 or so rooms behind Gem, which is very much a surmountable gap, particularly with the challenging dungeons and dungeon rooms that we have ahead of us. Gannon's Tower's Gauntlet, potentially a large source of the RNG that could help level this out. Also of note, we already have our big keys, so we're just looking for small keys to get through here. Nothing else on the agenda.
Anything else now is just a little extra. Yeah, they really don't have anything to really look for now. They're both in go mode. Just get it done now. So, by the way, if you're curious about while they're just kind of going through looking to make progress on keys here, just to let you all know, this is the first of potentially up to 5 games for these players. We do have game 2 tomorrow between these very 2 players. Same time as today, 2 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Speed Gaming. And then our third and fourth place match between Andy and Pika, that will be on Thursday as well at 9 p.m. Eastern here on Speed Gaming. So make sure you check that schedule. Again, they'll have at least 3 games to play. These two, unless we need to go to 4 or 5.
Yep, and that Ben versus or not Ben, that Andy versus Pika Pal series for third place runner-up will be a best of 3. So this is the big one. And you know, I'm hoping we see 5 matches. I think it's gonna be the most exciting thing for the audience, probably the most nerve-wracking thing in speedrunning history.
Oh, definitely, man. 5 games and games that are very, very close. You know.
Yeah, we're seeing evidence of that already. This is gonna be an exciting series to watch. I'm really excited to see how this concludes. But today, though, hour 31 minutes in, we are closing up the race with just one more dungeon after this, Gans Tower itself, and off the slate of Whizbig himself.
Oh, Whizbig. Do you think these guys are gonna do any kind of difference in Gans Tower? I mean, what is it? They're just gonna, you know, go left side? Do we take that gamble on Tile Room and just wait it out? That's a big swing right there, man.
You know, that'd be the gutsiest thing I've ever seen, because, I mean, you know, people talk about gambles. That's literally putting $2,000 on the line saying, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. He's not going to check this.
Man, that would be an epic way to finish Game 5 with someone waiting in Tile Room and they take the lead from traversing all 21 other locations.
I mean, 1 out of 22, you get better odds at a casino.
Hey, but you don't have a 1 in 2 chance of winning $4,000 either. You know?
Fair enough. Well, Jem's done his laser bridge, gonna shoot on over to Trinex at this point.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Got the key in hand, playing in Magic, Fire Ice Rod, and this will be crystal number 7 for him, and he'll be able to head to the evil pig monster in just a bit. Alright, the calm before the storm, the nice little ride to the boss fight. So here we go.
Yeah, and some minor mistakes being made by Jem. Lost him about 10 seconds here in the dungeon. Thankfully, does remember to switch his weapon before finishing off that left head, as you cannot access your menu while a boss is exploding, which you'll also have an effect coming up here. Does manage to get a pretty fast kill, only 2 attack cycles from the primary head.
Alrighty. Alright, so our last phase here, and getting the early hits, and missed there. Uh-oh. Jim, a little difficulty on this boss compared to someone of his other skill set. I'm just saying to us, wow. But
yeah, I had no major problems. Elected to take advantage of his half magic, you know, safety and security of the shots, didn't miss any shots. Also of note, Ben did skip the laser bridge, as he did steal a key from earlier, so more things kind of wheedling this closer and closer. They were in the same room for the first time in a while.
I know, man. For a very, very fast fight here, Ben can really cut this lead down even lower here.
Well, he goes back door strats, which actually is the fastest way to kill this boss. If he can prevent 1 extra attack cycle, which he will. More time save.
So, of course, chat, you all know what's up. It is that time to play a game that you can win absolutely something. Pride, I don't know, whatever. But, of course, 22 locations where that big key can be found in Gans Tower. 1 to 22. Type it in chat. If you win, you win.
Our love, affection, and gratitude, and we really got to figure out a prize for that.
Let me give you some Cool Whip. Sorry, Cool Whip. There you go.
There you go. There you go. Applicable on just about anything and everything.
Yes. All right, Jim, heading to the right side first. Looking for that big key. Got a big heart. Key? Does he go to the right or does he go to the left? He's going right.
So this is a clutch moment. A lot of people would go left.
The Room of Doom. He's going to skip Tile Room. So this could be interesting here. If Ben decides to take that key and go left, man, we're going to already have a path divergence, and this could swing the race.
I think at this point it'll determine the race.
Yeah, it sure will. If they play follow the leader, probably not much more. So,
and even then, still time for Ben to make up time in the in Gans Tower. This is one of the most execution-heavy segments of the entire run.
Yeah, and Ben has already been making execution time gains on Jim already in Turtle Rock.
Well, that's 6 locations on the right. Absolute dud to us so far. Interestingly enough, Jem does stop to pick up the key, but he is not actually going to go all the way to Ice Armmost from that side, which would be the fastest way to get there. Ben's going to follow the leader.
Oh, Tyrone. There's the big key on the torch. Man, could have grabbed that very, very quickly, man. Could have gone left, got a key in the next room, and been gone. That could have been the lead that Ben needed right there.
Actually, yeah, definitely. So number 7 is going to be our number today. Congratulations if you picked it. Jem's feeling probably pretty good about that, though. I mean, there's only so much time his opponent could have saved on him making that routing choice.
Mm-hmm. Man, oh man. All right, so this is where that future comes in for Jem. Just got to make sure he can maintain that lead on this gauntlet here.
And congratulations and shout out to Velanoth, first sub or supporter to guess number 7. You win an opportunity to watch these runners finish this seed. Congratulations.
Yay. Okay, over.
Heading on up, though, both of our runners have their big key. It's all about who can get through the fastest. Jem having to stutter step a little bit here through Ganon Ball Z. He's going to move on to the next episode, the Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. This is the kind of part of the thing that the players at this level generally will play it nearly flawless. You know, us regular people struggle bus. You know, because, you know, to actually learn these rooms well and efficiently with minimal mistakes is quite a challenge, I must say.
I mean, these Zazexes here can absolutely ruin your day. The ice rooms can totally go south or sideways. Lammolas, too. Same deal. They will have the same RNG for ajneb174, though, so no divergence on that fight.
Yeah, I swear these rooms are like what happens when you take Zelda Link to the Past and put it with a touch of Mario Maker. Where people just spam stuff all over your room designs. This is kind of what it's like to me.
Oh, absolutely. This would be like the super hard mode, and, you know, there would be like 20 versions or iterations of these rooms that are actually incompletable.
You know? And then y'all be moaning, how come this is on the Nintendo Switch yet?
Hey, I would never complain about having a virtual console in the past, even if it's not a ROM hack. I'd still play that on Switch.
I would too. I sure would.
Well, moving forward, Jem's going to put his cane of Samaria to great use. Ben having a pretty good climb so far. Has a chance to catch up on a couple of these ice rooms that Jem was actually kind of struggling with.
Yeah, he's making some moves here. Gotta go fast.
Ooh, and that's actually the room that Jem had the most issue with. Ben saving at least 5 to 10 seconds there.
Mm-hmm. So here we go. Jem making his way up to our torch room.
Wow, Ben with a perfect Lammola too.
That was pretty good right there. Man, he's definitely trying to make up the time here. Ben is on his game right now.
I mean, Moldorm Falls, not that unlikely. Ganon Falls, still very possible. We're Tempered Sword, and we do have Silvers, so I mean, that's less likely, but I mean, this is as narrow as you can expect it to get.
Yeah. Gotta go fast. What do you think, man? Do you hover?
Oh, goodness, I wouldn't even risk it. I mean, it's a 6-second time save. Could be exactly what Ben needs in order to catch up here. And Jem, for a second there, looked like he was setting up for it.
Just teasing us a little bit here.
We are just 3 rooms apart. I mean, this could be a Ganon cycle difference. I mean, you know, with enough warps.
Yeah, you know, oh boy.
Of course, the RNG for Ganon himself is the same for both runners. Same thing with Aghanim. They just have to deal with whatever RNG the seed has. If you died either of those fights, it does reset and can be random again.
And we start with a triple on the first. Jem is not playing around. Oh, man. So close to the double triple there. Oh, boy. No hits there on the third cycle.
Oh, and one of those shots got eaten up on the previous triple, so we are actually needing a 5th cycle to do this.
Yeah, so it was actually a double there. Oh, man. A little tough break there for Jem. So, a chance for Ben to gain a little time, but that time is running out here as Jem is headed over to the final fight now.
Yet another high five. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, moment of truth. That may or may not have actually been a double for Ben here. He needs to get at least a 3 or 4 cycle to catch up any time on him.
Yeah. Yeah, looking very, very favorable for Jim right now. He's going to start on phase 1. Again, already having temper sword, silver arrows. I'm going to probably have many problems with this fight for sure. Falling here is quite rare, but man.
Ben actually taking more cycles for Aghanim 2, kind of slipping away at his chance to catch up a bit. Jem's showing us a pretty solid 1+1 cycle. This is the most practiced boss fight in the game for any NMG runner.
Definitely, definitely. So Ben's gonna fall over to the fight right now. Jim is on phase 3 already. Again, needing just 4 hits per fall cycle, and then of course 4 silvers, and that would be GG for Jim. This guy's not trying to stay still.
Perhaps Ganon sensing a bacon in his future.
Man, that was a pretty long one there.
Yeah, he's no in that scenario.
They will have the same patterns there, so get a double on the first shot.
Even getting the torch glitch.
And there it is, a double for Jim. And Jim, so long as he doesn't fall, we'll take game 1 of this best of 5 series here.
Yep, and as he crosses the into the Triforce room, Jem's going to finish up first place in this race with an official SRL time of 1:41.56. GG's in chat to Jem. Congratulations. We'll see if we can get him in here for an interview. I'm sure Ben also finishing up. May hopefully we'll snag him as well.
Man, do you realize, as I reflect on this race now, do you realize the advantage you would have had if you had gone to Gina first very early? I was talking about it at the very beginning of the race, and that could have swung this race. That was like an 8-9 minute difference there. Whoa! Getting a little, whoa, my goodness! In the 3-piece there. Who does it, Jenna? I do. Hey, I would have been ahead. Okay, no, I wouldn't. I totally lost these guys. What am I talking about? At least I would have had that early glove, though. So, Ben finishing not even 1 minute behind. I can't really ask for a better race than that, man. That is pretty good stuff. So, congrats to both Ben and Jim. Jim taking the advantage 1-0 over Ben. Best of 5 again. Game 2 will be tomorrow, for those who don't know. 2 p.m. Eastern, the exact same time as this race, just tomorrow. Again, first player to win 3 is going to win the tournament.
And we are actually joined by both runners, Ben and Jem. Congratulations and GG, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks, GG.
GG, Ben.
I'm going to need you to be a little bit more hype here. This is not just typical old tournament here now. I'm just saying, Jim, you should be thrilled, ain't you?
Yeah.
You're like, whatever. I guess I won.
Nah, especially winning against Ben. That feels pretty good.
Look here, guys. I got a question for both of you all. Now, see, I'm always the person that says, how come no one wants to go check Agena earlier? How does it? I mean, both of the guys, Agena and Sahasrara, both with a glove. When was the last time you all had that situation?
It's been a while. But the thing is, like, you know, it's just so far, it's only one item. It's really hard to go early. Or anytime, even.
Yeah. Sometimes I do it after them, but usually only if the seed looks like it would be an Aga seed.
Oh,
it was
man.
a wild ride for us to watch, and you guys converged quite a lot. You'd be pretty surprised watching watching this back in the VODs how many similar decisions were made. You know, we had those typical situations where one person goes Palace of Darkness, one person goes to another dungeon. You guys just kind of flip flop. But I mean, this was a narrow margin the entire race.
Yeah, it was really interesting, man. You know, Ben making the decision to go over to Outcast and getting those boots a little earlier than Jim, so having that speed advantage, you know, for quite a significant amount of time there, you know, kind of recoup that deficit that was behind by a little bit. But man, it swung back in your favor, Jim. Man, you think you made any mistakes that could have that you could concern? Maybe because, you know, an hour 20 in, We're not even go mode yet. Well, at least an hour and 10 in, no go mode. What do you think about that one? Were you scared? Did you think your opponent went somewhere that you didn't go?
Well, seeds like this always make you scared because I last location or almost last location a bunch of items, especially with both mirrorless smith and purple chest being required. And then going to Hera for nothing but a sword, which is nice, but it's not progression.
Ben,
So, yeah.
I gotta ask you. When you went to Gan's Tower, you found a key on the right side. When is it you decide if you get a key in the first room, do you take that key and go left, or do you keep that key and go right? What do you ever take a key and go left instead?
It's very rare. Most of the time I'm going right because I'm like, if the key is there just so fast, and if I have to come back there, it's 5 minutes later, so it's kind of bad.
Yeah,
So
this is
kind of safe play with that.
yeah, that's one of those decisions where it's a very, very gambling decision, but oh man, this would have swung it in your favor, man. That you know, you all finished not even a minute apart. It was like you just said, man, it was high-fiving and flip-flopping a big chunk of this race here. Really, really fun to watch, I must say.
Well, that kind of leads me into a question I wanted to ask you then. One thing we've seen across this tournament and all others is that consistency tends to be the key to, you know, emerging victorious. Obviously, both of you guys and all 8 of our, you know, bracket racers pretty much getting to that point because of consistency. You know, being that you were down 1 game in the series now, do you plan on making any adjustments? Are you, you know, planning to practice any particular strats? You did save a lot of time in execution this race.
Not really. I mean, I lost the first race in every match, so for me it just means I win in the end. So
There you
I'm
go.
kind of fine with that.
Well, let's change that.
Big words from some big names in the scene. Of course, folks, if you haven't seen, Ben has won 2 tournaments. Gem looking to take over that throne, so to speak. And I'm really excited to see the rest of this series. As just want to confirm with you guys, there's still 2 p.m. races scheduled for the following 2 consecutive days, and then I don't think we scheduled the game 5 if necessary. We would just schedule it if we need to.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see the big talk here in Game 1. See if this can turn around the series. Folks, you know where to find them tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Time here on Speed Gaming. I implore all of you, give these guys a follow. You know, you definitely want to see every little bit of action as they prepare to finish up this tournament.
I know, man. More trash talking. I like this, man. I tell you, got some hardcore Zelda action going on. I like this, man.
Wasn't ready for that.
But yeah, man. Game 2. Again, Ben trying to tie it up. Jim trying to say, you know, Ben, it ain't your time no more. Put him in a 2-0 deficit here. So we'll find out, man. I'm hyping again. 2 p.m. Eastern, man. What do you think, Ben? You gonna come back and put him in his place or what?
I hope so. That's kind of what I want to do. What's your
No. See, I told you, ain't no hoping in this. You say you dang right I am, Big John.
It's rando. I have to hope a little bit. I need a little bit of luck and the right place.
Hey, I mean, you gotta go for the kill.
Jim, he said you gonna get whooped. That's what he just told you, man.
Nah, it's not happening.
Oh, see, Jim, see, I like Jim.
Oh,
See, Jim put him in his place. He said, I got you, dog. I got you. All right, y'all. So 2 p.m., man. 2 p.m. Eastern. Again, don't forget also, not only are these 2 players racing, but we do have our 3rd and 4th place players. We got Andy and Pika, who are going to be battling out starting tomorrow as well for the 3rd place. Again, $500 versus $1,000 for those 2 players for 3rd and 4th. So that's at 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So check out the 1st and 2nd place match between these 2, and then those 2 will race 7 hours later, right here on Speed Gaming as well. So a lot of action coming up. A lot of action. That's best of 3 on that one.
well, I think it's pretty much everything we have to say about this race today. And I believe that the French restream probably wants the 2 of you guys for an interview if possible. So any closing remarks you guys like to share? I'll start with Ben.
Well, just thanks for commentaries, thanks for the stream, thanks for putting this tourney, and yeah, I rewatched this MC8 because I feel like I'm surprised I was that close, to be honest. Because I've done weird plays and none of them were good, so yeah. Hopefully I play normally tomorrow and it goes better.
Alrighty, I'm happy to hear that. And then, Jem, same extension to you. Any final words you'd like to share with the English cast?
Yeah, I'm just gonna point out again, because I will point it out as long as it happens. Screw this consistently appearing penalty T. In all my matches in this tourney, PT has been pendant, except for one, I think. And I hate that. So yeah, let's make Crystal TT happen next time.
Well, may the luck be favoring both of you, and of course your bomb throws and bomb jumps be true. We're looking forward to the next game in the series. We should definitely pass this on so you guys can have your conversation with the French folks out there who have probably been chomping at the bit to ask you guys in French what's going on. So I've been Eudaimonistic, joined here today by Big John. Big John, go ahead and close it out.
All right, well, you know what's up. Tomorrow, 2 p.m., check this game 2 of these two players as they duke it out. Jim trying to take a 2-0 lead. Ben trying to tie it up 1-1, all right? So don't miss it right here on Speed Gaming 2. Speed Gaming at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So that's about 22 hours from now. So check your timers, your Alexas, your Google Homes, whatever you got, so you don't miss out on the action, all right? So until then, you will have a good day. Uh-oh, my Alexa's here? What the? Calm down, girl. What is this?
Also, big shout out to Cassidy Moa and our tracker today. Thank you for punching the buttons, making sure we were right today. From everybody here at Speed Gaming, and thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting us. We'll see you next mission.
Have a good one.